Ryan brought us, I saw ESPN put out a 2024 redraft. And I'd saved this because I knew you and I were going to have a solo show together.
Yeah.
We love the draft.
5 hours of draft talk.
Figured you were going to enjoy this. And I wondered, okay, how did this change and evolve to where the Cowboys, do they still end up taking Tyler Guyton? So number one overall, the Bears don't take Caleb Williams. They take the Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels, which means at number two, the Commandos take Caleb Williams. Drake May still goes 3. Marvin Harrison Jr. still goes 4. Really not a big change.
By the way,
yeah,
good job, Drake May. I mean,
you want to?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just go ahead and. Well, I'm apologizing for Bo Nix.
I was not the biggest Drake May fan, for sure, but played well. He really, really did. I kind of had this, just watching him play. I wasn't really totally sure. It wasn't always the accuracy. I saw the toughness, missed some guys, made some guys work for some balls, but he did a nice job there with the Patriots. So my apologies to you, sir.
Big difference is at 6, the Giants don't go Malik Neighbors. They actually take Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I don't know that Bo Nix has the same success. I think a lot of that is Sean Payton evaluated the guy, was like, that's exactly what I want, and the two of them together have made beautiful, beautiful music together in Denver.
Yeah, Sean is one of the best quarterback evaluators, and I know people out there are freaking out right now, but guys that I've been with, I know I could give Sean a list. I did it in Philadelphia. And that was the draft where it was the Manning Leaf draft, and he had it going the right way. He said, listen, long term, he says, Peyton Manning's your guy. He's the guy that's going to play the longest. He's going to be the best player from this. I have some questions about Ryan Leaf, and everything that he was concerned about with Ryan Leaf was absolutely right. He's talking about Drew Henson. He told me about Matt Hasselbeck. He said, hey, listen, I know we're probably not in the market to draft a guy, but listen, if you get in the middle like the 5th round and you want to pick a guy at quarterback, Boston College has got this kid named Matt Hasselbeck. You might want to take a look at him. Matt Hasselbeck played, 13, 14 years, something like that. So, he's he knows, he understands his quarterbacks. I'm sure people are out there like, yeah, well, look what he did with, he's got, Taysom, Hill playing and all that. But anyway, I've always had a lot of respect for Sean and his evaluations.
Sure does have an eye for the quarterback position. We get down to the Cowboys pick, which was at 24. Remember, they swapped and they traded. So they're still going with the trade here. They went ahead and said, okay, let's say Detroit stays. The original pick was Terrion Arnold, and the new pick would be Xavier Worthy, the wide receiver out of Texas.
So the Lions would have taken Xavier Worthy at that position instead. So
the Lions actually end up with Mike Sanders still.
Okay,
because they like if they placed it to where the Cowboys stayed there, the Lions were at 29.
So the Cowboys got Worthy.
Yeah, so the Cowboys get Worthy. So what he writes here is, I contemplated Olu Fashanu and Troy Fountain, the two offensive tackles at this point to keep with the offensive line.
Yeah.
But kept coming back to the lack of explosive plays on offense. With CD and Worthy, the Dak-led offense could get back to the playmaking it had in 2023. Even if Worthy might not fit the size profile the Cowboys liked in receivers, Worthy had 59 catches, just over 630 yards, 9 total touchdowns with the Chiefs. That's Todd Archer making that redraft pick. So Xavier Worthy instead of Tyler Guyton would have gone to the Cowboys.
I think I would have gone with the offensive lineman myself.
I would have too. I loved Olu Fashanu, who ended up going to the Jets. I was a big fan of his.
I agree with you on that.
Guyton doesn't end up going in the first round in this redraft.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Didn't end up going in the first. A guy who does end up going in the first that didn't initially, Bucky Irving, the running back from the Buccaneers.
Where does Bucky Irving end up?
Tampa Bay still takes him, but they don't take Grant Barton. They end up taking Bucky Irving at 26.
Wow.
And I think one guy that we were all on last year as kind of being maybe overrated was Dallas Turner.
Now, I'm going to say this. I disagree with you on that.
Okay.
I was not a Dallas Turner fan. I didn't think that Dallas Turner was going to. I had my concerns about Dallas Turner when everybody had. It's much like with Will Johnson.
Will Johnson, yeah.
It's every time I saw Dallas Turner, he was a top 3 pick.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it at all. Now, was he a first-round player? Absolutely. But I did not think that he was this guy that should be taken in the top 5 for sure.
I had him in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
I was really not into Dallas Turner's game.
No.
And I don't know. I mean, I didn't really keep up with like how did he do this year.
I think he was okay, but I don't think it.
But he didn't live up to first round expectations.
No, he sure did. He sure did.
Second round, what happens with the Cowboys? Do they take Marshawn Nealand in this redraft, or is it somebody else? And it ends up being Kingsley Suamataia, the offensive tackle out of BYU, who the Chiefs ended up taking in the first round. He did not end up starting. He was battling to maybe play left tackle for them in the Super Bowl. Instead, they went with Joe Thuney. I think next year you'll probably see Suamataia slide in there, but Todd Archer writes the Cowboys had him in for a visit before the draft. He was in the mix when they took Guyton in the first round. Guyton would have been the pick had he lasted to this spot, but Suamataia started the first 2 games left tackle for the Chiefs, did not answer their issues. Still, the potential remains. He's just 22 years old. Yeah. So Guyton ended up going earlier in the second round to the Philadelphia Eagles at pick 53.
Yeah.
So there's a redraft scenario for you. You come away in this with Xavier Worthy and Kingsley Suamataia. Do you feel better about Guyton and Nealand?
Guyton, I understand. He was on the tail end of the tackles that you were going to take on the redraft. I wish Archer. I need to ask. I need to see if they would have taken the tackles or they'd taken Worthy. I need to ask that question.
Be interesting to find out.
Find that out. But I would have taken one of those other tackles instead of the one they took.